Hi, this is Arya. Please subscribe to Talks of Cinema.
தூய கல்ச்செக்கு எண்ணெய்க்கு நீஹா ஆயில்.
ஹாய் வியூவர்ஸ், வெல்கம் டு டாக்ஸ் ஆஃப் சினிமா. இன்னைக்கு இந்த இன்டர்வியூல நம்ம கூட யார் இருக்காங்க அப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஒன் ஆஃப் த ஹாட் அண்ட் ஹேப்பனிங் ஆக்ட்ரஸ் தான். ஸோ ரீசெண்டா எல்லாருமே மத்ராம் வெப் சீரிஸ்ல இவங்களை பார்த்திருப்பீங்க. எஸ் கரெக்ட், ரீட்டா டீச்சர் அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு சூப்பரான செக்ஸியான ரோல் பண்ணி நம்மள என்டர்டெயின் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்கிற கெனிஷா அவஸ்தி தான் நம்ம கூட இருக்காங்க. ஸோ வணக்கம் மேம்.
Vanakkam, thank you Talks of Cinema for having me, and it's such a pleasure to be here on this platform. Thank you.
Our pleasure, ma'am. So really sweet of you. When I contacted you in Instagram, you immediately obliged to give interview. So I guess many youth will be in Chennai will be watching this and they will be really happy because after watching Mastram, they wanted to know about you personally. So how are you and what is your real name? And you are very active in Instagram. So first, we'll talk about Instagram because you frequently update posts and interact with fans in Instagram. So how is that started, ma'am? After Mastram or before Mastram itself?
Yeah, it's all actually after my web shows. So before Mastram, I had a release on Netflix called Hasmukh, and my profile started getting a lot of traction right after that. My character of Roma became very popular, and my first meme was based on that character. And so, I realized that suddenly, I was at 47,000 followers, and I crossed 100K, before even my second show came out. And then once Mastram came out, it was like through the roof. I mean, that was unbelievable. To even wrap your head around that sort of a sudden surge of followers and all, I don't think it still has sunk in, because I'm a very low key person in real life. I'm very private as a person, and also because most of my closest friends are non-industry people. So I've never really known how to handle or how to be around that much attention, except of course attention you get in personal life, but the volume is massive when you're a public figure. And I'm so grateful that in my life it's happening right off the bat of my first 3 web shows. So I think this level of traction maybe for some people might take longer, I'm saying, so I'm just very grateful to all the lovely people who have showered me with so much love, and I cannot thank them enough.
Yes, ma'am. And how did you pull that role, Rita teacher, ma'am? Because it's a very glamorous and very sexy role, and it's a kind of a critical role. You have to handle it, and how you make sure that you handle that role very well. Because when we saw that web series, I guess many of the people have started watching your episodes again. I guess it's episode number 2, I guess. So how do you pull off that role?
I mean, I prepped a lot, and generally also in life, I'm always, I'm just generally always been a glamorous person. I like dressing up. I like fashion. I like always being well turned out. That's just me. Apart from my industry, like industry image or whatever, I've always been a glamorous person. I love fashion. All my idols growing up have been fashion icons. Like I looked up a lot to Gwen Stefani, Beyonce, J-Lo, and these are the people that Victoria Beckham. I really loved their fashion, and I've always been fascinated by fashionistas. And so from a very young age, I had like this whole thing that I have to be very glamorously turned out at all times. And so the glamour part of it, in terms of the body language and all, was simpler for me to adapt. Also, I watched Malena a lot of times because I think Monica Bellucci's character is based like on a similar, that whenever she's walking and like guys are falling and all that, that whole larger than life sort of sex appeal you have to sort of project, So that happened, and we also had a lot of readings and workshops to get familiarized with our lines and for me to get comfortable with my co-actor. We also had 2 intimacy directors. So they were amazing. Megan was our intimacy director, who was flown down all the way from Canada, and she was also part of, I think, Games of Thrones, the franchise, and they used to choreograph those intimacy scenes, figure lighting, so that it doesn't look in your face or too sort of like what can we call it? So that it doesn't look too graphic. It looks like, beautifully lit, and there are more silhouettes, and stuff like that. So it was a very well prepared and technically and both in terms of lines, it was a very well prepared role, which I got enough time to let that character grow on me. Lots of readings, workshops, costume trials, meetings with the intimacy directors, of course, my director, Sir Harish Sir, and of course, my lovely producers, Prableen ma'am and Himani. So it was a very family-like atmosphere. By the time I got on sets, I was very comfortable, and they made me feel like I was, that it was my own home production. It was very
Yep.
welcomed, very welcomed.
Yes, ma'am. And people are calling you Indian Kim Kardashian. So how you are feeling about it, and when you got that name, ma'am? So can you please tell about it?
So, so I've always been obsessed with Kim Kardashian. Like I love her so much, And since 2007, I've been obsessed with her. She's just stunning. And I don't know, just somebody started it. Like there was one memer who made a meme for me, and I was like, oh my god, this is insane. And I was so scared to even repost because listen, that's some really big boots, to fill. Like she's probably one of the most hottest women in the world. Not probably, she's definitely one of the most hottest women in the world. And I was just like, oh my god, because there's a lot of trolls also online, right? And then they can
Yeah.
kind of be spiteful and they can be a little harsh, with their critique, and they could just get up and be like, oh, who does she think she is? But then I reposted it and it started like a whole frenzy. It started like this whole onslaught of similar memes, and everybody just started calling me that, and I was like, wow, this is incredible. Like this is like when reality is surpassing like even your dreams. I would have never imagined being called that, but now that they're calling me that, I'm very grateful. And it's the ultimate form of flattery. Yeah, it's the ultimate compliment.
Yes, definitely, ma'am. And next question is, you are also very active in your app, right, ma'am? So tell us about your app, ma'am. So what are the exclusive things people can see in your app other than your Instagram post, and how is that coming up?
So my app is a very interactive space, and it's a space where I'm able to handle people in terms of lesser numbers. So the interactions are more intimate, they're more one-on-one. And also, sometimes it's impossible for me to respond to every message I get on Instagram, but on my app, I'm able to do that because it's I feel it's my true fans, people who
Yeah.
truly love you and who are ardent fans, not like people who are probably writing a nice comment on my picture and then going to XYZ, and also I think these are people who are following me as a person also, not just how glam my pictures are or the hotness quotient or whatever. They are interested in me as a person. They are interested in my thought process. They are interested in, my future plans. They are interested in my philosophy of life and things like that. So a lot of them have become great friends of mine because they are people who stay in touch with me constantly, and I know everything about them now, like where they come from, what they do, what their dreams are, what their life mantra is. So it's a great platform, and truly, I mean, it's one of those places where I can really customize my interactions. Also in terms of content, I have just yesterday shot for my first ever exclusive photo shoot for my app.
Okay.
So those pictures are going to be exclusive and they've been shot only for my app. And I just want to customize and tailor make it as much as I can, because I genuinely feel that people who take the effort of coming to my app day in and day out, I mean, they are truly like my pillars, and the ones who are my genuine believers, who see like potential in me and who see and share my ambition and my enthusiasm about all that is in tow for me in future.
Yes, ma'am. So after maybe after this interview, many number of people will be joining in your app, I guess. So once this interview got
I hope
released,
so.
you will see many number of people joining in your app. So that would be great.
Touch
And
wood. I really hope so.
yeah, definitely, ma'am. So after Mastram, you got fans all over India, especially in South India. People have started knowing you and they are following you madly in Instagram.
Wow.
So any plans of doing South Indian movies or South Indian web series you are
Yeah, I would
interested in
love to
doing?
work in South films. Like, I mean, my favorite, Surya is one of my most favorite
Yeah.
ever. I think he's just such a great actor and such an incredibly handsome looking person, So it's my dream to work with Surya. I love Mahesh Babu also. And these two actors I genuinely want to work with. In South, I really want to do work. So it's kind of like my dream to also work with Rajamouli sir, because Bahubali is like my all-time favorite movie of all times. I've seen it more than 100 times, I think. I can't get over that movie. Yeah. It's insane, right? Like it's unbelievable, just the whole grandeur of it and everything. So the kind of content that's coming out of South India is so technically forward, and I think that it's incredible. Now it's becoming more pan India, right? Like as in those lines of South and North, all that is getting blurred. Like now it's like good content is good content. It could be in any language. It could be Marathi. Marathi films are reaching Academy Awards and whatnot now. So I don't have any caveats that I don't want to work in this language or that language. I want to work in every language, and that's why I'm here. As an actor, to kind of explore and also embrace different cultures. So I want to work in South films. I want to work in Punjabi films. I want to work with Marathi. So I speak also because I'm from Bombay. So it was a compulsory language for us to learn in school. And I have auditioned for a couple of Marathi films also. And of course, you get nervous because all the other actors are Maharashtrians. But phonetically, I'm very intelligent. Like I can learn any language in terms of dialect, I can perfect it phonetically. That's just a gift I have. I don't know how. But I definitely, it's really, really on my immediate list to do like a good South film in Tamil or Telugu, or just definitely want to do it.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely, I guess it will happen very soon. And personally, what do you think as your sex appeal, ma'am? So people will be telling different things, but personally, what you feel is your sex appeal?
I honestly think it's more my personality and not really so much my looks, to be honest with you, because looks is really a superficial. It's the first, it's the first layer of any person. I'm not sure how interesting anyone can be just because by virtue of having a good face or a good body. Let's face it, every second person does now. Everyone is very groomed. Everyone looks great. And the only thing that I feel is my sex appeal is probably the fact that I'm very curious about a lot of things, and I've invested a lot of time in learning a lot of different skill sets in my life, like be it singing, anchoring. I was a master, I did more than 300 events. And my passion, I think it's definitely my personality and my mind, because mostly, even when I see people on Instagram, they are really vibing with the fact that I'm keeping it very real. I'm just being who I am. And I'm not trying to be anything other than what I am. So if you and that can have a very polarizing effect, that can have a very polarizing effect, because a lot of people will probably not like you being so so outspoken or so upfront. I'm very upfront as a person, and that's who I'm in real life also. And I want people to like me for who I am, because it's very important for me to be genuine and not cheat people by being a certain way. And there are a lot of celebrity stories we hear, right, that they're so sweet on camera, and then they've been a nightmare when they meet their followers or their fans offline. And that's just setting a bad precedent. I want to inspire people by the grace of God. I have had a very tough struggle in my life, and I have overcome all that, and I'm really proud of it. And I want to keep it real. I don't want to make it seem like, oh, I was so pretty that I was just walking down and I just got discovered. None of that happened with me. I had to work really hard, and I probably faced more failure than anyone I know in my whole life has. And I'm really proud of it, and I'll say it proudly.
Yes, ma'am, definitely. And next thing is, what is the limit in glamour, ma'am? So do you have any limit in doing glamorous roles, or how you are going about performing glamorous roles?
Look, it depends on the country and the kind of content I'm doing, in terms of what the local parameters of that content are. Let's suppose I'm doing a French movie tomorrow. Their culture is very embracing of, probably even extremely intimate scenes, which, I'm very comfortable in my body. So it totally, but I will not do anything that violates the sensibilities of that particular region or nation, or the locals. I will do whatever is naturally accepted and okay. So I mean, those parameters change, right? Like American content, and then there's British content and French and everything. Or if I'm doing something, let's say in the Middle East, obviously I can't even do what I did in Mastram. So it depends. It totally depends. It's again, it's very it's extremely basis the the region I'm catering to. So I personally don't have any inhibitions, but I will I will look into the fact, not overlook, but I will not overlook the fact that there are regional boundaries and regional, what can you call them? Like
Sentiments. So
limits. And those
yeah,
limitations, I'm not going to be part of content that may offend anybody that belongs to the region that the content I'm doing for is coming out of.
yes, ma'am, very good, and that's a very nice answer, ma'am. So you will do glamorous roles based on the region which you are doing, region-based things.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and
The sensibility of the people
yeah,
in that region. Yeah.
yeah, correct, ma'am. And for the past couple of years, we are seeing many adult web series releasing in our country. So how you are seeing it? So many adult contents, and there are many apps which are releasing those movies. And what's your take on this? So
I think script is king. Your production value has to be really high. So it has to be a good unit that you're working with. Now I think a lot of people are also releasing content just okay. You just shed your clothes, and that's never how it works. Mastram was literally a very well produced show where they had a very good team of writers. It was in the making for a really long time. They had an extensive casting process. The producers were veterans. They've been producers of Gangs of Wasseypur and projects of that level. And so, well, therefore, I feel like actors should definitely look into the production value or the director who's making it, and of course your fellow actors, co-actors. And I just want to tell people that just skin show alone is not going to withstand or not going to assure any sort of longevity or any sort of credibility. I feel, I think that it's now become commonplace because we are becoming very realistic in terms of the content we are making, and it's all very normal in real life, like sex and love making, and all. It's very much part of like being the human experience, very much part of the human experience. And so I think that the more we are arching towards realism, the more our content is becoming realistic. But it has to be backed by a great script and a good unit. You have to work with good people.
yeah, correct, ma'am. And
So that's
yeah,
my take on it. That's my take on it. That people are doing it with some sense of preparation and lots of pre-production. I mean, big ups to them. It's not easy to do these scenes. There's a lot of people on the sets, and to crack the right aesthetics and make it look good, and at the same time, make it attractive. It's not easy. It's a mammoth task. So big ups to the actors also who are doing it. Yeah, like I'm seriously, like they have given me the inspiration to because not for one moment could I afford to be in second thoughts, right? I mean, once you take up a job, you got to do it. Like you can't second guess. You then have to bring it. You signed up for it, so. But then
yes,
you
ma'am.
have to be sure that. But then you have to be sure that you're 100%. Like giving it your all, and not kind of feeling like, oh God, what to, in North India we say now that wo kya sochenge, wo kya sochenge. You can't be bothered about wo kya sochenge, wo kya sochenge. You have to give your 100%. Even if you're an actor who's doing one scene ka role. Look at
Yeah,
Kevin Spacey, right? In Seven, he did. He won the Academy for it. It was hardly a 2-3 scene part, but you got to do it like your life depends on it, and then something good comes out of it, I think.
yes, ma'am. And the Mastram also, all the scenes are well choreographed, and everything had a purpose. So that's the main thing for it to become a huge hit, right, ma'am?
So also the resonance, right? Like
Yeah,
nearly every guy that I've ever met in my life, including my entire friend circle, everybody has had a crush on their teacher, at
yeah,
some
definitely.
point or
Yeah,
the other. So it resonates with everyone. It's like a universal emotion. I think it is probably universal. Maybe a guy living in Germany also, his first fantasy must have been English teacher or whatever, math teacher or whatever, So they just crack the pulse of human psyche. If you can touch upon something which is a universal emotion, and that finds resonance all through, then I think that you've got a winner.
yeah, absolutely, ma'am. And what is the weirdest dating proposal or proposal you got, ma'am? So any weirdest proposal which you want to share with us? After Mastram, maybe, or before Mastram?
Dating. I mean, no, yeah, nobody has ever really asked me out on a date and all like that upfront. Like, for me, it's always been a very organic process. Like, whenever I've dated, it's been people that I've met through either common friends or, at work. Not really in the industry work, but, I used to do a lot of events. So people from different walks of life. And they would first become my friends, and I have to like a person, and then organically, if it led to dating, then it did. But it was never like, oh, hey, can I just take you out on a date? It was never like that.
Yeah. So it's a process. According to you, dating is a process.
Yeah, it's
so
a process.
It should happen. Yes. So
yeah, it's better if it's organic.
Yeah, correct. And so next thing, how you're maintaining your body structure, man? Because the approach you are performing and your photo shoots, everything requires a perfect structure, right? So what are the extra care you are taking for your structure?
So for me personally, I just eat right. I try and eat as right as I can. My body is absolutely natural. I don't work out a lot or at all, actually, sometimes, because my schedule is so erratic, and I'm also maintaining a lot of different verticals, right? I run my own YouTube channel, my Instagram. It's like a whole business interface in itself that needs maintenance and that needs a team that manages it. My app, my website, also I've launched my own line of products. I'm not sure if you know, but I have my own interior decor products. And so, managing all that, and there's hardly really much time. Also travel a lot on work. So my body, by the grace of God, is all very blessed and natural. I don't really, it's not like I can share some JLo sort of regimen with anyone. But yoga is something I really quite like. So I try and get at least 2 to 3 days as much as I can. And also because in lockdown, gyms were shut, my gym was shut. So I used to like working out in my gym because they had a lot of activities. Like there would be Zumba classes and acro yoga. And, you want to make your workouts interesting and not really mundane. So when, the thing is that getting into fitness is such a habit, and it's a difficult habit to form. And then, badi mushkil se, after a lot of toil, I had gotten into that habit because it requires like 2.5 hours, of your day. Because pre-workout, post-workout, there's all that you have to, all that, post-workout, you have to take some vitamins. Pre-workout also, you want to hydrate yourself, maybe have an apple, whatever. And then that whole thing, because of Corona, it just broke. So now I'm really struggling very hard to get back into that routine. And my gym has just opened up like 4 days back. So hopefully I'll be able to resume from where I left. But at this moment in time, I'm just working out at home. I do yoga, and I had learned yoga, Ashtang yoga, from a very good teacher called Subir Balvi. And also there's another amazing teacher called Sunaina Rekhi. I'm doing some online Zoom classes with her right now. And that's how it is.
Yes, ma'am. Super. Because the photo shoots and all which you are doing, you have a very perfect physique, right? So people want to know how you are maintaining it. Yes, ma'am, definitely. You can see the response and comment section also, right, ma'am? So you have very wonderful structure. So next thing is, what are your upcoming projects? Any web series? What is the next in line?
Yes. So I'm going to be featured in 2 films now. One of my films I've already shot for. It's a Hindi film called Aafat-e-Ishq, which basically is a remake of a Hungarian award-winning film called Lisa the Fox Fairy. And this was a dream project for me because such a great cast to be part of. It's going to be out on ZEE5. I think that should come out end of this year or probably the first quarter of next year. And there's another project that recently got announced called The Invisible Man. And that's being presented by Endemol. So these are my 2 next upcoming projects. And also my calendar is going to release soon. So, yeah.
So definitely then all your fans and followers are going to have a big treat for the next 3 months, I guess. So we are, all your fans will be having their fingers crossed. So, and yes. So finally, what you want to say about your fans and followers and the reception they gave for Mastram, especially Rita teacher?
I just want to thank them so very much, and I cannot ever thank them enough because I don't think any artist can be successful as a standalone. You really need the collective consciousness, of people. You really need just the audience to accept you. I could be whoever is daughter, son, niece, whatever. But that's one thing you cannot manipulate, I think, and I mean, what can I say? They have made my dreams come true. And I honestly never in my wildest dream could have imagined this sort of reception, because I generally just do things, without attachment. Like I try and do my work with complete detachment, because I think, that's why artists get depressed, because I think it's just bad to, you know, uh, it's just bad to load anything with expectations. I think that you can never predict where life is going to go. So if I do something and then in my head I'm like, now I'm going to just arrive, I am just going to arrive. That is very, I think that can be very counterproductive. So with all three of my projects, I never had, I had great faith, but I never really expected that, oh, this is going to do this for me and then I will be here and all. But it's just, that's why it's all the more special, because then it becomes like this amazing, like how they say Christmas has come early this year. So it becomes like a big surprise. And I think that's how I want to lead my life going forward, especially in this line of performing arts, because you have to maintain a certain sort of discord. You have to be a little dissociated. Otherwise, it can just get to your head, or it can make you crazy and depressed, in a sense that you can start really thriving on that attention. And if you don't get it tomorrow, God forbid, you will, you don't want to spiral downward, because there's so much to life, and you want to just be able to explore new aspects of your personality, and at the same time be really grateful for the good things that happen.
Yes, ma'am. So very well said. And once again, thank you very much for accepting this interview and giving interview to Talks of Cinema. And we wish you all the very best, and hoping to see you in more South Indian movies in future, ma'am. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Murali. All the best. See you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
நீஹா ஆயில் தூய கல் செக்கு எண்ணெய்க்கு